You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days of Our Lives fans. Belinda from Soap Dirt, and I want to talk about the fate of baby Jude Brady and whether he's going to wind up with his dad, Eric Brady, or his mom, Nicole Walker DiMera, because the current spoilers do not indicate that these two wind up together or leave town at the same time. Let's dig into what's ahead for this fractured family on the NBC soap, but please subscribe if you have not first. If you have forgotten how long it has been, it's been since November of last year that Nicole Walker was told her newborn son died. If you recall, she got into a car crash with Leo Stark and his felonious, gorgeous ex, Dimitri von Leuschner, and that left her in medical distress on the roadside in labor, and Leo actually delivered her little bundle of joy, and then they sent Dimitri with the newborn to the hospital while they waited on an ambulance because they were scared to move Nicole. They didn't know what injuries she'd sustained. And of course, Dimitri saw the police chief at the hospital. He did a 180, took the kid with him to Sloan's apartment instead. Since then, the kid has either been with Melinda or Sloan. Everything, though, is about to change by the end of May sweeps. Thanks to Eric meddling in Sloan's money matters, she had to cut Leo off from his blackmail allowance. And between losing his cash cow and his sexy boyfriend, Leo was so upset that he got drunk and told EJ as much of the truth as he knew. But of course, Leo didn't know the whole truth. Very few people do. So when angry EJ burst into Sloan's apartment, told her he was going to take the baby and lock her up, she dropped that truth bomb on him and it exploded in spectacular fashion. EJ is now completely terrified of the idea that baby Jude is Nicole and Eric's baby. And rather than using a hospital, bizarrely, EJ sent DNA samples to his pet mad scientist, Dr. Rolf, to have him compare the specimens. He's got EJ's DNA, Eric's DNA, and baby Jude's DNA. But according to official spoilers for the week of May 13th through 17th, the baby hasn't switched hands just yet. I suspect it's going to be one of the last few days of May sweeps, which wraps on May 22nd, when EJ gets word from Dr. Rolf that yes, Eric is the father of Nicole's baby, and that means he's pretty much out of luck. Sloan just told him that if Nicole and Eric find out they have a baby together, they're going to get dumped. And he knows it's true. EJ knows that. So all of this is also complicated by the upcoming exits of Arianne Zucker and Greg Vaughan, who play Nicole and Eric. Executive producer Ken Corday promised we would see Nicole get her son back from Sloan, but that she and Eric would not find out the whole truth at the time. So I think Sloan and EJ are about to cut a very crafty deal. Essentially, EJ is about to become a partner in crime with Sloan Petersen. He's going to insist the baby go back to Nicole because he doesn't want Sloan raising his wife's baby, but he also doesn't want the truth to come out about Eric fathering the kid. So I envision they're going to invent some type of hospital error to explain the baby going home with Sloan and Eric as an adoptive child instead of his biological mom, Nicole. And the thing is, Arianne Zucker confirmed that her last air date comes in July. In fact, Ari herself said she expects the final episode she's on to air July 29th of 2024. And we've also heard that Greg Vaughan wrapped his run and is no longer at Days of Our Lives either. But his final episode isn't going to air until December of this year because he is part of the 15,000th episode, which airs December 4th. So sometime after then is when he is done. So that is a big, big 5-month gap between when Nicole exits Days of Our Lives and when Eric exits Days of Our Lives. And so it begs the question about the fate of little Jude Brady. If Nicole leaves town after finding out the truth about Jude's paternity, I could see her walking away from EJ and taking the baby, but it wouldn't make sense as her taking the baby and leaving without Eric. And then again, you know, they may kill off Nicole's character and then the baby stays with with EJ or finds his way back to his biological father, Eric. In the meantime, it seems very clear Sloan will give the baby back and Nicole will be absolutely thrilled. Nicole's going to think they have this miracle. She and EJ have their son back. And of course, Eric Brady is going to be devastated to lose his adoptive son, but he can't be too mad because it's going to be some sort of paperwork error, I suspect. And then that puts them in this weird position of Eric being on the outside wanting to spend time with Jude. Just like right now, Nicole always wants to play with and cuddle the baby. I anticipate Eric will feel the same way for the same reason. Nicole's feeling that pull because she's the biological mother. Eric's feeling that pull as the biological father. And Sloan has been forced to play nice about it and allow Nicole near her son. But I can't imagine for 1 second EJ is going to play nice like that. I think he's going to tell Nicole the best thing is to have a clean break, Sloan and Eric not be around Jude because it's confusing and he needs to get to know them as their parents. I think it's going to be some kind of explanation like that. In the short term, obviously Nicole will have baby Jude with her, but from there, it all comes down to how they're going to exit her character. The powers that be at Days might decide to kill Nicole simply because Arianne Zucker is suing Sony and the producers of the Peacock soap opera, so they might write her character out with a death as a punishment or some sort of strategy for this lawsuit. I don't know. And then, of course, we have Eric exiting in December. So if Nicole leaves town with baby Jude, I could see them explaining Eric's exit as he's going to go be with Nicole and his biological son so they can finally be a family far away from Salem, far away from EJ, stuff like that. It's my understanding that Sloan actress Jessica Serfaty leaves after Arianne Zucker, but before Greg Vaughan, and she's obviously leaving empty-handed. So who do you want to see Jude wind up with? Do you want to see the kid with Nicole and EJ? Do you want to see Nicole and Eric finally back together and with their baby that they would obviously love to have together? Would you like to see Jude with Nicole as a single parent or with Eric as a single parent? The one tidbit we do know is that after Nicole leaves town, her daughter Holly Jonas stays behind in Salem and moves in with her grandmother Maggie Wharton. So that might be a hint that Nicole winds up dead and maybe Maggie ends up with custody of the teenager. Maybe Maggie ends up with custody of Nicole's other baby, Jude, as well. That would be kind of an interesting alternative to EJ or Eric, you know? All in all, I think this is going to get very messy before all is said and done, so do not miss a thing. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Drop your comments below and come back soon because we are here talking Days of Our Lives 7 days a week. And as always, I'm your host, Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.